one of the aspects of pit road that I just love in NASCAR racing is the sheer athleticism of the crew members that service these race cars. It is absolutely amazing each week to watch what these men and women do. I'm Steve Post, pit road reporter for MRN, and this is Crew Call. You know, the advent of athletes on pit road is something that's been going on over the course of the last number of years in NASCAR, and now there's even recruiting on campus. So we find many of the pit crew members that service the race cars are former college football players or baseball players or basketball stars, hockey players, and yeah, even women's softball stars. And that's what we're going to talk about here today. Breanna O'Leary, a softball player from down at Alcorn State, down in Mississippi. She is a pit crew member, goes over the wall and changes tires for Rev Racing. I can't wait to hear her story.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Welcome back to Crew Call. Joining us, as we talked about during the opening stage of the program, Breanna O'Leary joins us. Hello, Breanna. Welcome into Crew Call.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to catch up with you. Your story is so fascinating, and I think maybe I'll just go back. You're a softball player at Alcorn State, the Lady Braves.
Yep.
What did you play there, and how was the softball career?
Yeah, so I actually I grew up playing baseball because like fast pitch softball wasn't really a thing where I was from. And then I played through high school, and I actually went to a junior college for 2 years, about an hour from home. And then that's when I went to Alcorn to finish my last 2 years of eligibility. And I actually ended up needing an extra year to graduate. So then I was the student assistant for the softball team, which then created another opportunity for the following year to be the graduate assistant for a strength and conditioning coach. So
you're really involved with this. What position did you play?
I played in college. I played outfield, and then my senior year, I finally got to go back to first base, which is what I played in high school. So
that is really cool. That fast pitch softball, like how the pitchers in that, like how fast is their fastball, or how fast does that pitch come in there?
Yeah, I would say like a good pitcher is like throwing in the 60s. And obviously they're closer than a baseball pitcher. So yeah.
That's crazy.
They're big girls too. Those pitchers are big girls.
They get a lot going with the windmill, that's for sure. Really
yeah.
neat. So you're rolling along, you're in the fitness program there, you're coaching, you're assistant coaching, you're doing the training and you're doing the fitness. And you have no background in NASCAR. How do you get to NASCAR? How does this transition happen for you?
It was through NASCAR's Drive for Diversity initiative, or program, I should say. They were kind of going around to universities and looking for former college athletes that would be interested in an opportunity to train to become a pit crew member. And they kind of went through our strength coach to obviously use the facilities. And he was like, you should try it. He said, it'll take us places. And I was like, okay, like, what am I trying? And he was like, I don't know, NASCAR's coming here for pit crews. And I really meant nothing to me at the time. It was just like an opportunity to go compete. So I was like, sure.
Did you have any preconceived notions or thoughts about what NASCAR and life in NASCAR would be like, or just totally blind to it?
Yeah, to me, like NASCAR was, they just drive in circles.
Yeah.
I didn't really think much more of it other than that, really.
It's fascinating to me. So what was the combine? What was the process like once you you started the process? What was that like?
So at Alcorn at the university, there was like 10 or 11 of us. It was all like football boys. And then there was me, and he just like put us through like a workout, almost like side by side, two people at a time, worked out and went this little course. And so then he was like, I'm gonna go finish, touring different universities, and I'll let y'all know in a few weeks if I want you to come to this national combine in Charlotte. So I ended up getting the call like a month later, and was invited down to Charlotte to do like a 3-day combine. And that was our opportunity to be up close with the race cars for almost all of our first time ever in life.
Yeah. You were so involved with collegiate athletics, not only with softball, but as the trainer, you worked with the football guy, you worked with everybody across the board. Is the NASCAR combine similar to, I mean, I know it's different because there's cars and no balls and bats and everything else, but is the premise of the combine for NASCAR similar to the combines in other sports?
I think it was kind of to see what skills we had already physically that could translate into NASCAR, as far as like footwork and being quick, and even like the mental game of it was a lot of it, which I mean I would say would be a big part of a combine in any other sport, as well as seeing how quickly you could learn something new, because we spent like 2 days with the car and the impacts and the jacks, and they had to just kind of take a guess from there who would be able to pick it up quickly.
So you accomplished this. You obviously succeeded at the combine. What was the first step? What was the next step? What was that like?
Yeah, so after that combine in 2016 in May, the next step was moving out here in September. And so just to move out here to train. So yeah, that was the next step.
I can't imagine I can understand moving to a new town to follow a career that I've been working on, whatever that is. If you're coming to Charlotte to play softball or to do even strength training for the Panthers or the anything, I can understand it. Moving to a new town to go to a total different foreign land of a sport. Did your family think you've lost your mind? What was that like?
I think because NASCAR was new to my whole entire family and friends and everybody. It was just, we didn't know what I was getting into. So we were just as excited as we could be. I don't know that anybody if they thought I was crazy, they didn't let me know, but everybody was like, well, that sounds cool, let's go for it. So
that's neat. That is really, really neat. So your first time crewing a car, you start working here in Charlotte and getting it. What was it like? Did it fill those athletic juices that you had flowing in you? What were your early days jumping off on the wall in front of race cars like?
I can tell you that I do believe we trained for like 6 months before the next season started. And during those 6 months, I think it was almost like daily where I would question, like, what on earth am I doing? Like, because as an athlete, you want to be good and you want to be good quick, because it's your sports. You've been doing that for so long. You're good at it. And coming to pit crew, like, it was a whole new world. I knew nothing about it. And I was starting over. I was starting from scratch, from ground zero. And I was like, what am I doing here? Like, this is crazy and I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
I think that mental wall was probably like the toughest part out of all of it, just to get over that wall and be like, okay, I can do it. Honestly, my first races over the wall, I don't know that I remember them fully.
Yeah. And that's understandable. I mean, I like I said, I'm fascinated by this. I really am. When you look at it, the one thing that is common is the athleticism and the athletics. What are the skill sets that were in common between softball and that, and what you use in NASCAR as a tire changer? And what are some of the skill sets that you've had to develop over the course of time?
I would say something that I was able to translate from college softball to pit crews is kind of the ability to perform under pressure. Just in softball, you might get like 2 or 3 at bats in a game, and you might have a ball hit to you 2 or 3 times, and that's it in a whole 7 innings. And you have to be able to perform in just like split seconds. Like those little seconds can affect the whole game, and just like performing under that pressure translates, I mean, obviously directly to being a pit crew member.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about that, but that makes total sense. Softball's a game where more time than not, you're not actually hands on the ball or hands on the bat. But when you're called to go, you need to knock it out and do that.
Yeah.
You mentioned a 60-mile-per-hour pitch coming in at you, and the focus you must have had. I cannot fathom squatting down on my knees with my back to cars going 45 or 55 miles per hour and doing it. Is that focus part of what makes you and sets you as athletes apart to do this on pit road?
Yeah, absolutely. Because of course you kind of have to have your head on a swivel because cars are coming by you, but you have to be able to focus on what you're doing and not let everything, the chaos around you, affect your job. Because obviously at the end of the day, you're out there to perform this job just for a quick second at a time, and you have to do it well. So definitely focus is obviously a huge key.
Yeah, I've shared when I do pit tours, I tell people, if you don't think these men and women that are going over the wall to do it, just go stand along the interstate and on the little white line on the side. And then just squat down with your back to it and just see what you're doing. You don't have to be changing the tire. You just have to do it. It amazes me what you do. I think another aspect, there's the physical end of it. There's the mental game of athleticism. And then I think there's the team aspect of this as well. Is the team aspect of it with you and the guys and the guys and gals you go over the wall with, is that very similar to the team dynamic you had in other sports?
Yeah, because you definitely have to trust that, you have to trust your carrier and trust your jackman that they are going to do their job just so that you can do your job as best as you can. So yeah, it definitely comes down to trusting that they will be able to perform their job, and which will allow you to do your job, and that it makes everything smooth. And just that, like, as a team as well, you have to know that mistakes will happen, and you have to be able to count on everybody to pick you up, or vice versa. So definitely just trusting your teammates to be there and perform, but also pick you up or be able to be lifted up as well.
To me, that is one of the greatest lessons. And I'm the guy that never played sports. I'm the guy that announced all the sports and talked about it. Okay. But when my daughters came time to play sport, to me, that's one of the greatest lessons of sport, is being a team member and a teammate. Because there is that, you're not going to be flawless every time. Your carrier is not going to be flawless. Your jackman, the other tire changer, is not going to be flawless. And that dynamic to me is so good, because if not handled properly, that'll destroy everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, it's amazing. It really, truly is. All right. So we roll on, and you're continuing on, and things are rolling along well for you here. You're involved with Rev Racing. How does that work? They assign you to teams. How does that all work, so you know kind of where you're going through the course of a season?
Yeah, so when we started out, Rev Racing was kind of responsible for our training and getting the fundamentals down. And from there, I think after the 6 months, we were actually, once I think Coach Horton felt that we were ready, he sent us all over as a group to Excalibur Pit School.
Okay.
And I kind of think them two, Coach Horton, Rev Racing, and the Pit School kind of work together to then assign us for, the crews or the cars and the races that we were ready for, like based on skill and talent and all that.
So do you have a set teams that you're working for now as we bring this to the present? Do you have set teams that you work for each and every weekend, or do you move around a little bit with your spot with Rev Racing there?
Well, so now I'm over at Ganassi. Actually, this is my first season with them. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed the memo. I'm sorry. Oh,
No.
congratulations. That's great.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is my first season with them, and so far so good. I've been doing like full time on the 9 truck, the CR7, and then I so like the Xfinity car I've done so far is the 61, which I believe like I'll be with them when they run road courses, and then the 16 Cup car as well when they run. I was with them for the 500, and so I'm kind of like, I know that the 9 truck is mine, and then as far as like Xfinity and Cup, it's kind of like part-time deals, and so yeah.
So when it comes to this, you're doing trucks full time. You're doing Xfinity when you can, and then Cup when that third team comes along or that next team comes along. I guess Ganassi has quite a few pit. How many teams does Ganassi have pit crews for?
Well, we have 5 crews here.
5 crews. Okay.
Yeah, and I do believe every crew has all 3 series. Like they run full time with all 3 series, except for our crew is we're like the full time truck and then part time elsewhere.
Neat. Yeah. It's amazing. It just boggles my mind how this all works. It's fascinating how it
I
works.
know.
And, well, I in honesty, I read, I think somewhere where Excalibur had gone away.
Yeah.
I think they had shut down. So I was wondering if Rev had taken that over. So I guess that explains to me where I lost the Ganassi move here in your crew.
Yeah, I came over to Ganassi in December. I had kind of talked to him for a while, but in December I finally made the move and said, "Yep, let's go." And then they sold Excalibur. They did sell it, so it's still a pit school, just under different ownership. But I left before all that happened, so
there you go. So what is the training regiment like? What is the training regiment like there at Ganassi with the pit crews?
We gym every morning. I guess kind of like Mondays and Fridays are optional. And then like Tuesdays we practice, and then we go to the gym in 2 different groups, like team workouts at the gym. And then Wednesdays it's the same, we practice and then the gym. And then Thursday mornings we have like a team workout at 6 a.m. And then you come in and work on your individuals or do what you need to do and watch film and then get ready for the weekend.
One of the aspects, and you're into fitness, you're into training, you've taken really good care of yourself, and you've actually schooled a lot of other people on that, especially when you're at Alcorn State. One of the challenges, and I'm a middle-aged guy just trying to lose some weight and trying to work out, and I'm running and I'm doing various things, but the eating regimen, how structured are you on that, as well as an athlete? How important is that to your overall program?
I definitely think that diet is like really important for performance and even maintenance to just keep your body running, since NASCAR is such a long season. I would say my nutrition has come a long way. I definitely have geared it more since I've been here. I've definitely geared it more towards like performance and health, and keeping that in the back of my mind that is what's gonna allow me to continue to do this. So I'm getting there. I'm working on it.
But Breanna, we travel everywhere. We go to the greatest towns with the greatest restaurants. We have all the snacks in the world. You're able to maintain and do all right with that, are you?
Well, so if there's rain delays or anything, I won't deny myself any of the snacks that are around.
Really?
Do they? I don't know if they even count. Do rain delay calories even count? I don't think so. So.
Yeah, rain delays are the worst, aren't they? Oh my God, that's nothing worse than that.
Yeah, that's all there is to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it though. I'm with you. Rain delay calories don't count. New rule, new NASCAR rule. Yeah. I love it. That's
absolutely
great. Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. This journey is taking you to some amazing places. We understand the NASCAR track. We understand you've pitted a car for the Daytona 500, but I saw a video of you on Good Morning America with Michael Strahan doing that. Did you ever in your wildest dream as a young baseball, softball player from Mississippi figure you'd find yourself in New York City on Good Morning America showing off NASCAR? Because that had to be an amazing experience.
Yeah, that was insane. Obviously, like I still wake up every day like thinking like I change tires for a living. Like how crazy is that? So I could definitely never like fathom that I would be on Good Morning America changing tires. Yeah, that was nuts.
And you and Breanna just schooled Michael Strahan in that. You can yeah. I mean, and you
Yeah.
those of you listening and watching this podcast, you can go, it's on YouTube and it's great. It's a fantastic little clip. It really truly is. Final question for you here, Breanna. As a female crew member, there's not many of you. You're in a unique club, but do you find little girls, or do you find people reaching out to you that you feel like you may be paving a way for someone here that historically never thought this might be a way to get into NASCAR racing?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I came into it though, I didn't like even expect that or understand that that could be a thing. Like to me, it was just pursuing this really cool opportunity I had. And then as people brought it to my attention, I was like, okay, like out of all the cool things I've got to do and all the like changing tires every day is pretty cool. Out of all of that, I think having people say to me, like, I can tell my granddaughter, I can tell my daughter, oh, my daughter knows she can do this now. That's honestly like been the most rewarding thing out of this whole experience, is that there's little girls that have said they look up to me and like they know they can do this or do whatever they want to, and that's been the best part.
Inspiring, that's for sure. Really neat. Well, Breanna, we appreciate you taking some time out and sharing your story here with us on Crew Call.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
There we go. Breanna O'Leary, tire changer for Ganassi Racing. Now that I got that right, see that? I learned something here today. Tire changer for Ganassi Racing. What a great story.
Pride, passion,
performance.
we are
Team Dryden.
Sunoco is a proud partner of Wing Nation. Not all fuels are created equal, so fill up with Sunoco Ultratech. Sunoco Ultratech is a top-tier detergent gasoline that is proven to make your engine run cleaner, longer, and more efficiently. Using the same detergent package as what is blended into some of Sunoco's high-performance race fuels, you can trust Ultratech for your everyday race. Whether you're headed to the track or just hitting the road, fill up with Sunoco Ultratech and fuel your best. Love the chance to chat with Breanna O'Leary. Great conversation. Glad that she took some time out and chatted with us here on Crew Call. NASCAR and the ARCA Series are headed off to the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix International Raceway. When we look at the Cup Series, we look at this race from a Goodyear tire perspective, the Goodyear Eagle intermediate radials, and this is one of the high horsepower, low downforce racetracks. So a lot of mechanical grip. When we have a lot of mechanical grip, that means tire wear. So there will be strategy as far as the tires go when we roll into the race on Sunday afternoon. That race on Sunday afternoon is 312 laps. 500K is what the distance is. Stage 1 is 75 laps. Stage 2 ends at lap 190. So that is a 115 lap run. And stage 3 ends at 312. So 122 laps. So looks like we're going to have some strategy, particularly as to when you stop during stage 2 and stage 3 of that race. Motor Racing Network, as I mentioned, will be there all weekend long. We kick it off Friday night with the ARCA Menard Series, the ARCA Phoenix 150 at 7:30 Eastern Time. Saturday afternoon, the NASCAR Xfinity Series races, and they call 811. Let me get that right. Call 811 before you dig 200. That's at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And the NASCAR Cup Series, we go with our pre-race coverage at 2:30 Eastern Time on Sunday afternoon. All of those are available. You can find all of them with links and even reminders at mrn.com. Just look up the races and you'll find all of those air times. Again, thanks to Breanna O'Leary for joining us. But more important than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Crew Call.